Sports Management.
Hi, my name is Amy Stack. I'm a freshman from Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm a nursing major.
I'm Hannah, a freshman from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm a psychology major.
Alrighty, so to start us all off, you guys were seniors accepted into Xavier last year. How's it feel that a whole year has gone by, and what were you thinking at this time? What was going through your head at this time when you were trying to make that decision? I'll let any of you start, whoever wants to.
Go on.
Okay, well, I was definitely still trying to decide, but I actually attended one of the preview days that Xavier held, and that was kind of my deciding factor. So after I went to preview day, I definitely went right back home and positive. So it was really exciting to finally make the choice and kind of have that weight off my shoulders. But I kind of went pretty close. My mom was like, Taylor, you need to decide. It's the time. All my friends had kind of decided, and she felt I was behind. But you're not behind if you haven't made a decision yet, but you have. So that's great. But the preview day was definitely a big reason why I made my decision to come here. It was nice to come back to campus for a second time, have a more in-depth tour, have a mock class, go to the CAF. Those things definitely really helped me make my decision.
And for those of you who don't know, Preview Day is an event day that we offer. We had a couple of them earlier this month. We do have an Experience Day coming up this weekend. It's on Sunday, so you guys can all sign up for that. We'd love to see you on campus, and maybe one of these fantastic people can give you a tour. So, all right, I'll let PJ, do you want to talk about your time?
Definitely. So you guys have just around a week left to make your decisions for school. So wherever you guys do decide, just take your time, trust the process. You guys will be all set. As for why I kind of chose Xavier, I definitely was not committed at this time last year. Took me right around up to the deadline. So don't be discouraged by that. So really what put me over the edge for Xavier is I came here and stayed with a current sophomore. He went to my old high school, so I went to go eat at the CAF with him. Those kids playing out in the yard. So we got to go out, kind of see the campus, see the area a little bit. So really got that community feel that really put Xavier over the edge. Financially, they're very good with giving away money, with 100% of our students receiving financial aid or scholarships. So they are flexible in that area, as well as other scholarships you can apply for online. But definitely the community feel and really just the people here that you can definitely see the genuine pride here in Xavier, which is nice.
For me, first I wanted to say enjoy the rest of your senior year. It's going to go by so quickly, and your first freshman year here at Xavier will fly by. I can't believe it's almost over. So enjoy your time. But the reason I chose Xavier was because of the nursing program. So I just fell in love with the academics, just the social aspect of campus, and all the students here in my experience have been so friendly. And it's just a safe place. Campus is really safe. I never feel I have to worry about other people. So I like that.
So the reason why I chose Xavier is very similar to PJ's story. I didn't decide until the night before it was due. I was very caught between a couple of schools. I had applied to 12 schools as a sophomore. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And after tours were a really important part for me. So after I had gone on tour, I was like, why did I apply to half these schools? Not interested in them. So the day before, I came down to 2 schools. And honestly, for Xavier, I had toured once and then I went on a preview day. And those events had a huge impact on me. I knew that no matter what school I had applied to, I'd get a good education. So feeling for where I could see myself was a huge part for me. So when it came back to Xavier, I realized that preview day and my tour, I could see myself after I had experienced those things. I could picture myself with Xavier.
So the next question is going to go a little off of what Amy said about how your first year has flown by. So you guys are now almost sophomores. First of all, how does that feel that you've completed your first year of college? And what are some of the things that are really highlights that made this first year something special and something memorable for you guys? And I'll let, actually, we'll have Hannah start.
All right. So what has made my freshman year memorable? Okay, so I'm from Wisconsin, like I said, and a lot of my friends went to a lot of state schools. So the fact that I went somewhere far away was a really big thing for me. I knew I wanted to do something on my own, be independent from my family, meet new people. So something that has really stand out to me, honestly, at Xavier is the amount of people who come all over the country. I have a lot of friends from California, from Colorado, New York, New Jersey, Buffalo, from all over the place. And it's honestly amazing me. Like for spring break, I went home with my friends from New Jersey. Like I went to New York. I've never been to New York before, so like that was a really exciting thing. So like I think meeting all the different kinds of people around the country is something that like has really struck me. I mean, I knew when I was applying at colleges I wanted to go far away and I wanted to be able to meet all kinds of different people, but I never really knew like how close I would get with like someone from California, like Colorado, New Jersey or whatnot. So that has really stand out to me a lot and has like really impacted my today, and like how everyone from far away then comes to Xavier and like everyone wants to make it their home. So like that's what makes it a community, because everyone's far away, so we all like make it our home and make it fun.
Kind of going off that, one of the things that makes like I think Xavier an awesome place for freshmen is all the opportunities they give you. So there's a lot of academic opportunities if you look for them within your major. There's a lot of like social things around campus going on all the time. I can't even mention all the ones that go on. But like even just all the little things they do, like one night in the fall they had movie night on the lawn. So like they put up this huge inflatable screen and projected a movie, and everybody went outside with blankets and pillows and we all just hung out. And they do tons of great things for freshmen just to get to know each other, and it's never awkward and you never have to be alone. So that's one of the things that made my year so memorable.
So definitely looking after the first year, it's definitely kind of like a relief getting through first year of college, for sure. I guess not yet. But, it definitely does fly by a little bit of an adjustment period, obviously, in the beginning. But yeah, Xavier really does make it a good job accommodating their students from all different kind of backgrounds, kind of like Hannah said. Really the most memorable parts for my year, at least at Xavier, is definitely the basketball games. So without football in the fall, it's a little bit tough. So like I came from kind of like a bigger like high school football is big. So like football was big, things like that. So not having that was really originally like a turnoff for me for Xavier. But then once I came into it and like just heard the students talk about like how big basketball is, it really fills up for both seasons. So we made it to Sweet 16 this year, which was awesome. Should have beat Arizona. That one still hurts. But I mean, I honestly feel we're going to be a lot better next year. Got a lot of talent returning back. So next year should be even more exciting, especially for you guys being your first year. And on top of that, you guys get to see UC at home. So that's our big rival, crosstown shootout. So definitely go must-sees on that one.
So going off of what all of them said, our first year definitely did fly by really fast. It feels like our first day, like move-in day, was just yesterday. But I think the most memorable thing here at Xavier was all the ways to get involved. So kind of like what Amy said, I was really involved in high school, and definitely I knew I wanted to transition that into my college experience. And there's so many amazing clubs and activities to get involved in here at Xavier. I'm worried I might not have a chance to do everything I want to do in my 3 years. So I'm trying to like plan it out so I can do everything I want to do. But it's just so nice that there are like academic clubs, clubs like for your major, clubs for just your interests. There's a lot of volunteer opportunities, and just so many ways to get involved and kind of like make your impact here at Xavier. Even as a first year, there are a lot of ways you can get like leadership roles and really like start making an impact and like become a part of the Xavier community.
Become a tour guide.
True. All right. So it's kind of surreal that May 1st is the deadline, and then for everyone who has made the decision in August, they will officially be starting. And you guys, can you talk a little bit about how you first got on campus? What was the feeling when you first got there, became a student? How was Manresa? It's our freshman orientation program. Just talk a little about what your first experience was and what kind of that first week was like on campus.
I can take that. So definitely your first feeling at Xavier, no matter where you are, is you're overwhelmed because there's what's called the move crew. So when you guys come to campus, so you have all your cars packed, everything like that. The move crew comes up to your car, they swarm it. They take everything out, they yell out your name, like where you're from. So they'll be like, PJ Anders is here from Buffalo, New York. So I'm gonna be like, hi, welcome PJ. Blah blah blah. They take all your stuff to your room, which is really nice. You don't have any heavy lifting or anything like that. So that's really kind of cool. But then the Manresa process, Amy and I are both leaders for next year, so we could potentially be your leaders, which would be kind of cool. Exactly. Yeah, move your stuff in for you. Oh, for sure. Don't want to think about that. Buy small fridges.
Don't bring anything to school.
Yeah, but Manresa is a really fun time. So you get split up in small groups, so you automatically know it's you upperclassmen through your leaders. That's gonna be nice just to have someone to talk to. You're gonna meet kids from all over the country, all over the world, actually. In your small groups, you'll find little things like, are you a Bills fan? No, but I'm a Patriots fan. Okay, look, we're friends over that. Not they're friends, I guess, but it's just something to talk about. So Manresa is a really good opportunity to get involved, and there's job fairs, and there's plenty of other things you guys can do.
Kind of going off that note, when you go to Manresa, come in with a really open mind. I know it's going to be like the transition's kind of difficult because you're leaving your family, your home, a lot of your friends, and it's awkward. I'm not going to lie, you feel awkward. You don't really know anyone. They're going to make you do things that like you think are stupid, but I promise in the end, it all has a purpose. And like I see people all the time that I met at Manresa, and I'm like, oh my God, like we yelled at each other randomly for Manresa, like. How are you doing? And it's so good to like make those connections early, and they last the entire like 4 years, hopefully this year especially.
All right, who wants? Is that everyone?
Manresa is a good time. You're not required to go, but I highly recommend that you do go. The freshmen move in like a couple days before all the upperclassmen do, so there's not like there's other things for you to do. So I recommend that you go. And it sounds like a cliche thing, like you'll go there, you'll sit in a small circle and you'll talk. And it sounds like really like organized and like kind of maybe like almost high schoolish, but like it allows you to meet people and it allows you to do things and allows you to get affiliated with the campus. I know when I came to campus, I was like so nervous I was going to get lost, and I did get lost. And I had people call me out for it a couple times. But going to Manresa like helps. They point out all the buildings for you. You get like comfortable with like where you are because like they tell you like you're required to go to like we're meeting at this building. Can you find us there? So those kind of things, it eases you into being independent easier than just starting school like on the day that your first class starts. So you're not required to go, but like I highly recommend that you do so you can ease your transition, even though it is, like Amy said, a bit awkward and like stiff and uncomfortable, but it gets more comfortable and it's honestly the most natural ease I've felt, I guess.
If Amy's group gets uncomfortable, come to my group. we'll have some fun.
Going off what they said, it definitely does make the transition a lot easier. So I think we do actually have a lot of services here at Xavier, like a lot of resources that make your transition from high school to college a lot easier. And it's also nice to not only know other people in your grade, but it's nice to know like two leaders. So I still talk to my two recent leaders all the time. I see them around campus. I've joined some clubs that they were in because they talked about how fun it was. So it's really nice to like know someone that's been here for a year or two and to like get some advice from them and things like that.
Thanks for that, Hannah.
Sorry.
All right. We actually have two questions now, so perfect. One is from Miranda, so thanks, Miranda. She said, what extracurricular activities are you all involved in? I will let, who has not gone first yet?
Amy.
Okay. Well, as a freshman, first, I just recommend, like, we have what's called Club Day. I highly recommend you go. It's like a day on the lawn outside, and all the clubs will set up like a little table. So you can kind of go around and see about things you're interested in and just kind of get information. And they say that it's like the rule of three. So they say never like try to just be involved with three things or less, because sometimes like a lot of things can interfere. So this year, I'm a nursing major, so that takes up a ton of my time to begin with. And I'm also really involved with the admissions office, so working with you all, giving tours. And I highly recommend intramural sports. They're just fun, and you don't have to be good at all because I'm horrible.
Yeah, going off the intramurals. So my first semester, after like, I don't know, like 2 months of like living in there, like there's a bunch of guys in my hall and they came up to me and they're like, we need another girl on our floor hockey team. Do you want to join? And I was like, sure. So I joined the floor hockey team for intramurals. But other than that, I'm involved with this semester, I joined club soccer. So the club sports are more competitive than the intramurals. So that's where you'll have your practices at least like 2 times a week. You'll hire and fire your own coach. Then from that, you'll have your own, you have games on campus as well as off campus. So you'll travel to other schools and play other schools. For soccer, the spring semester is less of a commitment. So right now we just have mainly practices as well as we volunteer. So with club soccer, I volunteer and I teach kids with disabilities how to play soccer. Along with that, then I'm part of the psychology club, which which means I just like they organize like a lot of events. Like they'll have like psychology movies and documentaries as well as speakers come in, which I really like. I'm a psychology major. I'm also involved in, I tutor once a week at like the middle school down the street. So it's easy to get involved with doing service through the Dorothy Day Center. And so I went there and I said I would really like to volunteer and do service. They hooked me up. They drive me to the school. They pick me up from the school. So I do that once a week. I'll tutor first through third graders. So basically I'm in club soccer. I volunteer as well as all of us work in admissions, and I got that within like our first week of school, which was a heavy commitment. So first semester wasn't involved in too much besides admissions, but then second semester I joined more activities after I learned to manage my schedule more.
Okay, well, going off that, we do have a lot of volunteer opportunities. So like Hannah, I joined the exchange program, so I volunteer once a week at a church that has like an after-school homework club for kids anywhere from kindergarten to 6th grade. So I tutor them in like math and reading. And then next year I'm going to be a site leader for that, so you guys should join it definitely when you get here. And then we also have something called Community Action Day. So that's once per semester. It's a day when like everyone can go out into the yard and like we all go to different service places across the Cincinnati area and go volunteer for like that Saturday. So I'm actually going to be on the board to plan that next year. So also get involved in that. You don't have to like sign up, you just like show up on that day. I also joined Hall Council. So we have Hall Councils for each of our freshman dorms, and it's kind of like a student council for like your dorms. So you like plan different activities to kind of like get everyone in your dorms to like know each other and to like meet other freshmen in there. So they're like fun, there's some service activities, sustainability activities, and different programs. So we're actually gonna have a tailgate before one of the baseball games on Saturday. So they have like food, music, and just like a good way to like get to know some more people and kind of wind down right before finals. And then I joined the professional business fraternity we have here on campus, which is Delta Sigma Pi. So we don't have any Greek life other than the historically Black sororities and fraternities here on campus, but we do have some professional co-ed fraternities. So that is one of the options. So it is professional. So they bring in speakers. We have like service activities, things like that. I'm going to be an RA next year, so that is a resident assistant. So it is one RA per hallway in every freshman dorm and sophomore dorms. So they are just kind of there again to help ease that transition from like high school to college, and just like if you have any issues, they're really just there for you as a support system. So I could possibly be your RA next year. So those are some things I'm involved in. I'm probably forgetting something, but.
Definitely. So outside of she's in a lot. I can't really follow that up. So outside of admissions, I'm on the Student Activities Council. So you might have heard of it. It's called like it's called SAG. Pretty clever. So we'll plan different events going out around campus. So one of the favorite ones that I participated in this year was a ski trip up to Indiana, Perfect North. So that was 45 minutes on the bus. It's $20 for rental. Lift ticket as well as transportation. So if you guys know anything about skiing, that's really, really affordable and really cheap. So if you don't have your skis or you don't have your board or anything like that, rentals were included. I'm in the sports business club, so you just have like local representatives, whether it's from the work for the Reds, our AD Greg Christopher, he came in and talked to us for a little bit. So you kind of just get that business side of the sports, obviously. So it's really good experience, especially if you're in the sports management field. Then recent next year again, so I'll be working with you guys a little bit on my new transition here to Xavier, and then as well as ZooMates. So ZooMates is you pair up with little first and like third graders from the inner city, and you go to the zoo. So you kind of just hang out at the zoo. I'm kind of just using the kids as shoes for the zoo, so that might work out a little bit like that. But there's plenty of good ways to get involved. So no matter what your interests are, whether it's service, sports, anything like that, definitely dive in and go for it.
All right. So another question we have is kind of off of the sororities and Greek life. Lauren asks, I always picture myself joining a sorority, but I know Xavier doesn't have Greek life. Does it feel like something is missing from campus without it? Is it easy to build relationships without it?
I can take
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I definitely do not think it's anything missing since we do have over 160 clubs and activities. There are so many things to get involved in. So once you get involved, I came here not knowing anyone. No one from my high school came here. So I made all my friends through all the clubs and working here in the office. So I think if you go ahead and get involved in freshman year, but make sure something you can handle and balance out. But definitely get involved. There's nothing missing, and you can still build relationships within your dorm, within your classes, within your majors, and within all the clubs and like sports and activities you join.
Definitely. They actually did like a survey for Xavier students, whether or not they would like Greek life. So they do kind of like ask around to see like if that needs to be changed. I think it was right around 60 or 70% said they were fine with it just the way it is. So you definitely are not handicapped from a social aspect of things. So if you guys are looking for like that kind of thing, definitely join a club, join a team for like a sport or something like that. And they're really just like the Xavier community. I mean, a little corner, like we're just like one big fraternity, sorority, like one big happy family, kind of thing like that. But yeah, you're gonna find your group of friends. You're able to build relationships off that. So you don't need an organized fraternity or sorority to make new friends here at Xavier. So as for the transition, it would not be hard at all.
Going off that, I agree. I think without the sororities and fraternities, it kind of gives you more opportunities to be friends with all different kinds of people. I feel like if we did have a sorority or fraternity like this traditional Greek life, you'd be pinpointed to that sorority or that fraternity. I think by not having it, you're able to become friends with a lot of different people in a lot of different clubs and be able to bounce back between those. And like, I know for club soccer, like we're having like a get together for team bonding, but then also like I have my friends that I always hang out with, and I'm not just pinpointed to like one sorority or one fraternity. So I think without it, you might even have a bigger social life because you're able to be friends with all kinds of people.
All right. Can someone speak to how the sports management program is?
So a little bit how the sports management program works. It really just kind of gives you, at least for the first year, kind of like a brief introduction into the business side of sports. So you don't really just talk about strictly like being a sports agent or being a manager in sport, but there's just so much other things. So like sport facilities you learn about. So how to like plan an event, kind of like different fundraising events, things like that. So you really get like a nice network of ideas. One of the assignments that we had to do, we had to interview someone in the sports field who we did not know. So we had to go out in the field and make a connection ourselves as our first year in the program. So it was a really good experience. I talked to a head basketball coach back home that I just kind of like knew through a couple family friends. So I got to sit down with him, kind of ask him about the advice that he would have. And the advice he told me was really network. So if you are involved or if you are interested in that, start networking now. Any internship that you can get, any volunteer job you can get, anytime you can work at like little things in basketball camp. Start with those, and just those little experiences are really gonna help you out. And you never know who you're gonna meet. As for like the program itself, again, one of my teachers and the advisor really suggested that you build on from that. So if you take one more class on top of the sports management core, you automatically get a business minor. So you get that side of things. I picked up a double major in marketing strictly because I just felt like that'll be good for getting a job, just having that extra experience, because sports management is sort of limited in like the field of studies and things like that. But this program is definitely strong. There's plenty of networking and alumni through the school that you guys are able to get internships and maybe potential jobs with. We've got great relationships with the Reds, with the Bengals, as well as like other local teams. Like there's a hockey team, the Cincinnati Cyclones. So it really just goes all over the place through the connections.
All right.
It's not fun. Hang out and talk about sports.
Yeah, right. If you have any questions about it too, you can always shoot me an email and I can give you Peach's information so you can talk in more detail about it. Ellen asked, any type of running clubs or club teams on campus? So running in particular, but then you guys talk a little about some of the options we have as far as club teams.
Yeah, I know there definitely is a running club. One of the members in our office is in it actually. So they formally meet, I think, 2 or 3 times a week, so they'll run together. But obviously you can do outside running on your own time. On our intramural field, there's like it's not like a actual track, but there's like pathways that you can go around. So it's a really nice area to run around. Because usually kids playing soccer, kids playing softball, so there's something to look at. And then if you just want to just simply run around Connor Sports Center, it's also very nice for running and things like that.
Also, for all the females out there, there's a really cool group called Charge, and it's an all girl group. And essentially, it's like you break into kind of smaller groups within that at a certain time that you can all meet. And like I know they get together and they go on runs all the time. And it's just all about women's fitness. So they'll do other things like I've seen them do yoga before and other things that just interest your group. So that's a great way to get involved with staying active.
I know that there is specifically a running group. I thought about joining that when I came here because I knew I wanted to keep in shape. I didn't.
You don't want that
Well, I know there is one.
You don't want that freshman 15?
But I know there is one. But I did join club soccer, so that's a real thing too. But there's also a lot of other clubs. I know there's like club lacrosse, ultimate frisbee, what other clubs? Club golf.
Lots of clubs.
Yeah.
Basketball, volleyball, sand volleyball.
Oh yeah, sand volleyball is really popular too.
I was just gonna say, going off that, if you kind of want to like volunteer and run, there is something called Girls on the Run, and I know one of the people that work in the office, Caitlin, is really involved in that, and she loved it so much. That's one of the first things she joined when she came here. And you like work with like some inner city girls and kind of just help them like learn about like, a healthy lifestyle. And they actually just like ran a 5K I think this Wednesday. Yeah. So you just run with them and inspire them and help them like learn to like live a healthy lifestyle. So that's also an option.
All right, so this next one is for all of you, since you guys are all doing this. Caroline asks, what are your opinions on working during your freshman year? Since you guys are almost done with it, how has it been? How was the transition? How was doing that in classes? How was that balance? What did you say?
Don't do it. I think I personally liked it working my freshman year. So we really did dive in right in the first week. So during my reset, we all got hired. So that was really cool diving in. It really does help having a job, because then a big thing about college is time management as opposed to like high school. So you're not always gonna have those back-to-back classes in the same setting. So you're gonna have those hour and a half gaps in between. So really, what you do with that time, whether you do some homework, whether you take a nap, you just find out really what works for you. But when you work in the admissions office, or if you work anywhere, if you have a job, that's an extra 8 to 15 hours that you're going to add on your week, that you have that limited time to do your studies. So you don't have as much time to do like leisure things such as like napping or studying or like Netflix or something like that. But it definitely does help in the long run with building a schedule for yourself.
Getting a job right away within like your first week of transitioning is a really big deal, honestly. I know like right away after I got my job and I was trying to balancing like my class schedules and that, it was pretty, I mean, for me, I at least had transitioned to it. Going from college to high school, or from high school to college. Going from high school to college, it is a big transition. I know in high school I had no problem waking up at 6:37. In college, I had difficulties going to my 8 o'clock. So getting a job on top of that too makes like maybe more of a challenge and more of a transition as opposed to not having a job. But I know that like the perks of having a job has allowed me, like PJ said, to manage my time better. I know a lot of my friends will have their first class of the day will be 1 in the afternoon. So they'll sleep in until that class. While me, I'll be up in the morning, I'll have my job, I'll go to class. So I have to be more organized and I have to be able to manage my time better, which honestly in the long run will help you, because that's what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life, is like managing your life better and more organized as opposed to sleeping in until 1. So like for me, I just look at it as a kind of like a life skill. Like I'm going to have busy days for the rest of my life. So like organizing it now as opposed to like sleeping in until 1 in the afternoon, like really helps me. It is a transition, honestly, because you're transitioning from high school to college and you're adding a job on top of that. But in the long run, it's helpful for you, and it also looks good on your resume that you had a job within your first semester as a freshman.
The money doesn't hurt either.
Yeah.
Start saving.
Yes, safe.
And that's how you all got to meet each other.
It's a great way to make connections,
Yeah.
not just with like your peers. Like we're all really good friends, like even outside of the office. But with upperclassmen as well. Like I don't think some of the people I would have met, I just never would have met them without this. So that's kind of.
And on that job note, I will add, so I believe it's the first day, if not the first day of classes, so the 24th of August, Make sure you print off your resume, bring it with you. There'll be a big job fair in the Cintas Center, so you can walk around to all the different options we have, hand your resume. Some of them will hire you on the spot, like these guys. Some of them will ask you to come back maybe tomorrow or next week to interview. It just depends. But make sure you dress and come prepared and be ready to interview there. Just have fun and get to know people and walk around and hand your resume.
You have to be work.
You do have to be work study, yes.
Work study student and RESA, definitely. But there is non-work study jobs.
Yeah.
There are things that are not affiliated to Xavier to do that. So, and you can always volunteer to work in our office too.
Exactly.
Alrighty. How many times have you gotten to go downtown in Cincinnati? Does Xavier provide discounted tickets to events downtown? Who wants to take this one?
Okay, I'll try. Well, one of the really cool things that I loved about Xavier was Cincinnati. And as a freshman, I'm not gonna lie, you probably don't go to the city like as much as you will once you're a little bit older and you're like a junior or senior. But Xavier does have transportation down to the city on the weekends. There's like a huge shuttle system that'll take you to like all sorts of different places, not just downtown. But I do recommend to everyone in Fountain Square, which is downtown, just like this big square in town. They put out an ice skating rink outside in the winter, and me and my friends went. It's really cheap. It's like $5 for the skates, and it was so much fun. So please go to that.
And for those of you who don't know, throughout the year, especially when it's warmer, they will have live bands downtown. They'll have food booths and trolleys and trucks. There'll be a number of special events. Oktoberfest is a big one. Taste of Cincinnati is a big one. So there are a lot of fun things. Can you guys talk about any of the discounted things or free things that happen through Xavier that goes on? Whoever wants to.
Keep doing that on opposite sides. At least for me, when I was applying to schools, a big part for me was being close to a city. I didn't want to go to a school in the middle of nowhere. I wanted to be close to some sort of major city. I love the city. So being close to Cincinnati is great. And like Amy said, they do provide things to be able to get you down there. But like some of the free things I've done is like during Oktoberfest, like Xavier will shuttle buses from Xavier to downtown, from downtown back to Xavier. So like that's just an easy way to like catch a ride to downtown. Like and like Oktoberfest, like Ohio, like Cincinnati has the largest one in the country. So it's a really big thing to do there. That's like the discounted or free thing I've done through downtown Cincinnati and like through staff. But being close to Cincinnati is great. I'm a big city person, so like I love the fact that I'm like close and it's like an easy bus ride on the weekends. If I want to go during the weekdays, I can easily buy an Uber for like $5-10. It's not expensive at all. So I find myself there, and I also don't find it like inconvenient.
So yeah, like what Hannah said, so in addition to Oktoberfest, they also shuttle kids down to like the St. Patrick's Day parade. I went when they took kids to the fireworks during Labor Day weekend. So like PJ was saying, they took people skiing. So they do a lot of things that are either like free or really low cost. They also bring a lot of really cool things on campus. So it's always like free food, music, like giving away free things. They also do provide free tickets to Bengals and Reds games. So when we get a little further into the season, I guess I'll do that. Maybe on SAC.
Yeah, definitely through SAC. There's just a lot of random events that go on. So like just like a couple weeks ago, the Reds were opening up, and we got an email and it said SAC or the university just bought 800 tickets. Stop by the office to take one. So they're like 500 level seats, so they wouldn't like that nice or whatnot. But it's a ticket into a ball game downtown. So all you have to do is just find your own transportation. And kind of like how Hannah mentioned, Uber, if you guys know what that is. Uber and Lyft are two kind of like their knockoff cab companies, I guess. So they'll pick you up. There's an app you can download. It is safe. I should have said it like that. So if you like safe, I was good. Exactly. So that's really cheap. So you can go downtown. It would cost right around $10 to $15 if that. So you split that with 4 people. It's $2-3 each, and you get to go downtown and check out the city for the day. Plenty of restaurants. When you guys are of age, they bus kids down to like the local bar scene. So they'll go to different festivals downtown as well. So it's really cool opportunity that Xavier provides for the students.
All right. Do you, this one's going to be for Amy. Do you actually have to be good at sports to participate in club sports?
Oh.
Is it you that said you weren't good at sports?
Yeah, no, yeah. You do not have to. Yeah, it's okay if you're horrible. But club sports do work a little bit differently. So a lot of them I know have like kind of like A teams, B teams. So like the A team might travel a little bit more and like be a little bit more competitive. But you can still be really involved with that team, so it's not a big deal if you're bad like me. But again, like I mentioned, that's a great way to meet people and get involved and be active. And if you're like miss a practice because you just have like a lot of homework, it's not that big of a deal if to just miss one. So that's kind of nice. It's not that big of a priority.
Okay. Alrighty. This next, I don't know how much you guys know about this, so I'm gonna be curious to see this. If not, I can talk about it because during my years as a student here. But how is the study abroad program at Xavier?
Ooh.
Oh, Amy.
Amy's got this.
Oh, okay.
Well, I haven't actually studied abroad yet, but this summer I'm actually studying abroad in Spain. And it's really cool because I had no idea where I wanted to go. I actually didn't even know that I was really planning on going this summer. I thought maybe I'd wait a little bit longer, but you'll like have tons of opportunities even within Manresa to hear presentations about studying abroad. And during the fall, I made an appointment to go to the Center of International Education. When I went in there, I had no idea what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. And the ladies there were so great with helping me kind of narrow down my options, helping me with financial aid. They tell me all about all sorts of stuff that I wouldn't even think about. And you can do it all here on Xavier's campus. So I had to apply to get a new passport because mine was expired. I did that on campus. I had to get medical release time. I did that at McGrath Health and Wellness Center. So all your resources that you need are right here on campus, and they'll help you. And I'm so excited. So I hope you all study abroad.
Just from a standpoint, so I graduated in 2013. It is worth it. I did it twice during my time as a student. So if you're interested, I highly recommend it. And it's really easy. You guys are all just 1 year in, so you have plenty of time to do it as well. All right. So we have one more question. So this one's typed. What if you don't have a resume to give? Will you still be able to get a job?
Oh, I don't know that I had a resume.
So there you go. It is not needed, but I would recommend it doesn't have anything fancy, it doesn't have anything elaborate. It's sometimes nice to have a list of past things you've done, high school experiences, things that you were able to sell yourself, market yourself a little bit better, so that way you have something to hand. But if not, that's okay. You can still walk around and talk to people. And I would make sure you still go whether you have a resume or not.
So, yeah, don't be discouraged if you don't have a resume. It's really just like, I guess, kind of like just like a pride sheet. So something you have pride in, something that promotes yourself. That's really all you need to do is just promote yourself and show that you're the best man or woman for the job.
Yeah, at least put what you've been involved in high school and if you've had a job and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you have plenty of time the entire summer to make one. You can go online, or you can go to like your high school, like college, or like guidance counselor. They can definitely help you. That's who helps me with my senior year. So you have plenty of time to make one if you don't have one right now.
Does anyone else have some questions they want to ask? Why they're all still here?
How big is the crowd
Tonight?
Yeah.
People?
We've had, right now we're at 18. We had about 25 or so at one point. So hey, the cool thing is these people that are on right now are getting to know 4 new friends when they come next year.
Yeah, if you see us,
So-
like,
Yeah, if you see us,
Yeah.
you were on the video.
So-
Don't be afraid.
Well, I want to have a couple small things just to wrap it up before we're done. First, let's say, my first question is going to be in about a sentence or so. I don't want a long paragraph or an essay or anything, but can you guys kind of sum up how your first year has been?
A sentence?
Right.
That's so difficult.
I'd be happy to say a sentence, not a word.
I feel like a word might be even.
So sentence we wrap up our Xavier year.
Just the first year at Xavier in
Impossible.
impossible.
I cannot sum up
I have
Xavier.
so many words to say.
In one sentence. It'll have to be a run.
Run-on sentence.
My first year at Xavier was.
I'll let you guys think about it because we have another question.
Okay.
Um,
Ask more questions.
yeah. So, perfect. We have 2 questions now. So, what is Xavier like for students that are commuting? Are any of you guys friends with commuters? I know you guys are all outside of the area.
Familiar with commuter. So the girl I'm rooming with next year is actually a commuter. So she knew a couple girls from her high school, and she ended up commuting for this year, but she's rooming with us next year. And I mean, I see her on campus a bunch of times. I've had lunch with her, and I know she like hangs out with us socially. It's not like she's like glued to her house and on the campus too. So I just know from that standpoint, like as a commuter, you aren't like pinpointed, like you're not excluded from anything like that. Also in one of my classes, like a junior, he was a commuter, and I saw him on campus all the time. I mean, we weren't as close, but like I just knew him, and I knew like we could hang out and things like that. So as a commuter, I wouldn't feel like you're on the outskirts of things. I know plenty of commuters who like I will socially hang out with, and like I'll see them like around campus as well.
And there are plenty of resources. We have our commuter lounge. We can put stuff in the fridge. You can keep stuff in there. There is a commuter board or council, that's what it's called. So that there's things like that to make sure that you're getting everything you need. But exactly as they said, I mean, they are not missing out. It's your experience. Make it what you want. If you want to be really involved, be really involved. If you don't, it's up to you. But there are a lot of resources, and you're not going to be missing out on anything.
And if you want, you could always like spend the night in a friend's dorm or anything like that. Like I know a couple of commuters who've done that too. So I mean, sometimes I'm jealous of them that they're so close. But like it's
Perfect. So we have another. This is a two-part question. I know, right? So I will read the first part first, obviously, and then I'll let you guys answer that. What has been the hardest part about the freshman year, your freshman year?
Well, I would just have to say it's balancing your time. It's really weird because you go from having like a full day of classes in high school to like really being in class just for a couple hours, really. So you have so much extra time that you have to learn to use it wisely. So a lot of the times it's hard to make time to go to the gym, plus see your friends, plus go eat, plus study, plus go to work maybe. So I definitely think balancing your time is
Yeah, I guess just going off that, like House of Cards is probably the most difficult part of the freshman year. So like it's just little things like that though. So getting caught on Netflix at 2 a.m, stuff like that. Not taking advantage of like little awkward hour times in between classes to study before a test. Those are really, really essential times. Especially for like a big presentation, thing like that. So really the schoolwork is not overwhelming. Not at all your first year. So the teachers are accommodating in that sense. So they do little things. So I got a bad grade on paper, and the teacher said, go to the writing center, go get it checked out, and then bring it back to me, and then we'll reevaluate. So the teachers are really good for the schoolwork aspect of it. So really the rest is up to you, and that's the most difficult part. So you're not going to have your parents waking me up at 8 o'clock to go to class or things like that. That's all on you. And even things as laundry. So I didn't do laundry back home, so I was definitely like a little spoiled. But then just even like little things like that. So not making your clothes tie-dye is definitely a hard part. That's definitely a couple of things.
All right, I'm going to have Taylor and Hannah answer this one, and we're going to have Taylor go first so Hannah doesn't interrupt you. And, how did you find your roommate?
I actually found my roommate on Facebook. So there was like a Xavier's 2018 Facebook page. She actually messaged me. We talked for a while. We ended up having a lot in common, and that's how I found my roommate. But you can go.
I found my roommate. So I'm a pretty laid back person, so I pushed it off really late. And my mom would like ask me, she'd be like, "Are you trying to roommate?" Yeah, I said, "Mom, it's fine. I've got plenty of time." And I pushed it off to like the way last minute. And so like then at the last minute, I was like in scramble. I post on the Facebook wall. The whole process of finding a roommate is kind of intimidating and awkward. The way my roommate found me was through the Road to Xavier. So on Road to Xavier, they'll have like the little, what we call Match.com kind of fill out thing. You'll say out your sleeping habits, if you're messy or clean, those kinds of things. I recommend being completely honest with that. If you're a neat freak, don't say you're like kind of messy, kind of clean, because you're not going to want someone who's extremely messy. You won't get along with them. So be extremely honest in that sense. So I filled mine out. You get a list of like 15, 20 people. From there, you can kind of creep on them. I'm being honest. Creep on them. Message them on Facebook. You're the one who knows who you get along with. So don't be intimidated to send someone a message on Facebook. I mean, I posted on the wall. I was kind of nervous. I asked everyone, I was like, "Is it okay? Like, can I post on the wall?" Post on the wall. No one cares. Then also, like, if you see someone in the group who like likes your post or something, don't be intimidated to message them. Everyone's going through this awkward process of stalking strangers and asking them to flip with them for a year. It's a weird process, but like, it'll end up working out for you if you're truly honest. Me and my roommate, our first semester, we both had 8 and 8:30s every day. So like if I wasn't up, she'd be like, "Hey, wake up, it's time to go." So like it worked out. We would wake up at the same time. We ended up sleeping at the same time. It's not like we were best friends and we were constantly with each other, but we were able to live with each other and like grab lunch every once in a while, like those kinds of things. So like being honest is probably the key point to it. That's what I'd say.
And you can also go in random or do the match.com kind of thing. So there are plenty of options. It's just, as Hannah said, know yourself and know what you like. Alrighty, so here's the next question from Kelly. I know you guys are trying to promote the school, but is there anything that you don't like about it or wish you could change? Very good question.
That's a good question.
Whoever wants to start? I'm not.
Things
I don't think things like that.
Things that I would change for me personally is I didn't. I wanted like a bigger school. From what my standpoint is so we're not a small tiny school at all. It's not like it's like 1,000 kids. We're like what 4,500 around there for undergraduate. So that's a pretty good sized school. My hopes and dreams was that I was gonna have like a bigger school, maybe 7,000 to 10,000 students. I knew I didn't want like the 30,000 have lecture halls. So that was one thing I would change is I would make my school bigger in like the sense of just a couple more thousand. But in reality, a couple more thousand isn't going to change that much. And that's my big thing that I would change is just make it like a couple thousand bigger.
Well, you have a whole new class of people to meet next year.
I know, right?
Alrighty, who wants? Taylor, do you want to?
Sure. I do like pretty much everything about Xavier. One thing is the cap does close at 8, which seems like it would be like late enough, but sometimes I like fall asleep and then like don't eat. But then there are like places like Subway and Credo, Blue Ribbon. So there are like options on campus that you can like go grab something. Something else I started doing is going to the cap at like 7:30 and getting like a great to-go box. So we have these boxes that you can get. So I'll like go get dinner if I'm not hungry then, but go like grab it so I can have it in my room and like warm it up and eat it later. So there are plenty of other options, but it's one thing I would change.
This is just something really cool to kind of go off what Taylor said though. But during finals week, they have something called late hours in the cap, which is so cool because they reopen the cap generally around like 8:30 and then it's open until 2 a.m. So when you're studying and cramming for those finals, you can grab like some breakfast to re-energize.
It's awesome.
PJ, do you have anything you don't like about
Xavier.
Yeah, I would say the food.
For those of you who don't know, PJ is the face of Xavier. So
I guess like there's like obviously you can have a couple things like I'd love to have a football team here. I love to have a couple more restaurants. But a lot of things are really just kind of out of our hands. So like there's obviously a lot of good suggestions and things like that. We are adding a couple more restaurants next year, so that would be pretty cool to see. But as for the most part, I honestly don't think you can find one big thing that Xavier really needs to change. You're gonna find there's so much to do. So if you don't really like the campus, you'll go down to the city a little bit. If you don't like the city, you'll stay on campus. There's just a lot to do. In sports season, it's even more fun to do as well. So you'll have plenty of stuff going on.
Alrighty. Did not having guaranteed housing for junior and senior year scare you guys at all in your decision process?
That honestly didn't come up.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's definitely something coming up that we're gonna have to worry about next year. A little bit like how the process. So freshman, sophomore, you're guaranteed housing on campus, which is nice. If you are a junior or senior, you can request to live on campus. You're just not guaranteed a spot. But all the local housing is only 2-3 blocks away from Xavier, so at most it'll probably be a 5-minute walk. In the winter, it might be like a 7-8 minute walk. So it's really not that big a deal. So you guys can get a bike. You guys can get a car.
So that's gonna slow you down a couple minutes.
The slow will slow you down. The slow will slow you down. Exactly. Oh man, that's Xavier. Exactly. So I don't even know what you're talking about.
There are plenty of off-campus options. A lot of juniors do tend to, we do have some apartments on campus, so like they are called village apartments. A lot of juniors and seniors do choose to live there, so you can live on campus as a junior or a senior. A lot of them do also, like PJ said, move into houses that are really close to campus with some of their friends. And then we do also have the University Station, which was just finished in 2014, which is where a lot of junior, senior, and grad students live, and those are really nice apartments.
It's a hotel.
Basically.
U Station's a hotel. And like I like breaking out like money. Rent for a house can go anywhere from $350 right around like $400 a month. Per person plus utilities. Utilities will add right around $50. But as opposed to U Station, so U Station, that's like the hotel. That's right around $650 a month. So it's obviously a lot more expensive, especially once those add up. So it's really just personal preference. But you usually are. No, I've never really heard of anyone having a problem getting housing.
You won't go homeless.
Yeah, that's definitely true. We will not send you out in the cold. But to give an idea of kind of breakdown and numbers, freshman and sophomore year, 90% of our students living on campus. So even our local students are staying here. They want that active campus life that they've all been talking about. And then junior, senior, it's still about 50-50. So I would say the majority of the 50% are choosing to live off campus. But there are a lot of students, if they are proactive about it and looking into it, they will get, whether it's housing or whether it's staying on campus, if they are really putting initiative into it, then they will be able to find it. All righty. Do you have any other questions before they answer my first question about a sentence or a one word?
Oh no, not the sentence thing.
He was quoting me. I didn't say Xavier, I just said your first year.
Oh,
My first year is cool.
There you go, perfect. That's great.
Am I done? Just kidding. It was cool. My first year was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's all unique. It's a lot at once, honestly.
Yeah. Transition.
Yeah, it is a transition. Because like I said earlier, like in high school, me and my dad shared cars, so sometimes I'd have to drive him to work before I go to school. I had no issues waking up at 6, 5:30, honestly. Waking up at 8 was a huge deal for me. I don't know why, but coming to college, coming to college, like that whole time difference thing, it's a transition for you. Also, like scheduling when you're gonna eat. You no longer have like a big lunch you carry around with you all day you can snack on. You have limited times you can go. No longer do you have like your mom like cooking meals and like keeping leftovers in there for you. Like why is everyone laughing at me? There's all different types of transitions. This is my run-on sentence. Fine. College is transition.
Oh wow! So that was Hannah's sentence.
Run on.
We have a question.
Oh, thank you.
PJ, you're next. Don't worry. Once you find your roommate, do you get randomly placed in a hall, or can you choose your hall you would like to be?
So each of you and your roommates will like rank your top 3 residence halls to live in. And then as far as I know, I've never heard of people like complaining about not getting the hall they've wanted. Obviously, they'll try to put you in what you want the most. But there's tons of options. And honestly, everyone I know, like wherever they live, they end up falling in love with it. So like when I first looked at Xavier, I did not want to live community style at all. But I live community style and I love it. I'm in love. So.
Yeah, it's a lottery system. So once you guys figure it out and you want to deposit, definitely get that in early. So if you do have a strong preference, get that in. So if you want to go community style, you put down Rockford. If you want to go sweet style, you put down Coleman. Not Huston, Coleman. You're not living Coleman.
They are renovating Huston. So
they are renovating Huston. So Huston or Coleman, so that's like the sweet style. If you're an honors student, I would definitely suggest going to Banger. It's a really nice Redsley Hall. You can sometimes even get your own room, which is kind of cool. As well. So definitely if you have a strong preference, put it down early, but if not, you're not going to have a problem. Cool. As long as you're flexible.
All right, PJ, quickly, what's your sentence?
My sentence, after experiencing my first year at Xavier, I have been enlightened with.
He's been formulating like specific words.
Enlightened with the pleasure of getting to know the Xavier University office officials.
Awesome. Great sentence. All right, we have another question before Amy will answer her sentence. About how much time do you spend on homework and studying?
I spend a lot.
I think Talora would be the best one for that.
Yeah.
She studies a lot.
Do I? Okay.
She studies
Well,
a lot.
I think it really depends on like the classes you're taking each semester, and how you kind of like plan out your like study habits. I tend to study like more like late at night, so but it really just depends like your major, your classes, and how much you choose to study. But I would say I definitely do homework pretty much every day, but it's not like excessive and it's definitely manageable. That's one thing that I definitely liked about Xavier, that it was nice that we had like a lot of resources and like you could like easily talk to upperclassmen and see things they did that kind of helps them like balance like the transition from like high school to college. And I would definitely recommend getting a planner, write things down. I did it in high school, but it's like 10 times more important in college. So write down your work schedule, from the beginning, carry around your class schedule, write down all your homework assignments, your activities, so just stay organized and you'll be fine.
Definitely. I would say like if you guys haven't figured out already, I'm not that so smart. So it takes me a little longer to process my information. So I mean, with studying, really just kind of like she said, depends relating to classes. So a lot of things you guys don't really like understand yet. I mean, not really anticipating is you're not gonna have classes back-to-back days. This will be Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you do have that extra day to get your work done. So that I can either help you or hurt you. But really just utilize that time, like that gap in between. So you guys can go to office hours where you get to talk to teachers one-on-one, about questions you have in class if you know you're gonna miss something. So definitely utilize that tool that we have here. And as well as we have a writing center, a math lab, as well as like a language lab. So any questions you have relating to those subjects. So if you have a paper you have to write, it doesn't have to be for English class, it can be for philosophy, European history, anything like that. They'll go over your grammar, punctuation. They'll actually email your teachers too, which is really nice. So you guys do get that recognition. So you're not going to go onto the writing center and have your like outside of classroom work go unnoticed, which is nice.
All right. Well, it is 9 o'clock. Do we have any final questions before we say goodbye and we wrap up everything?
They have their sentences. They're not getting on.
Oh, right. Thanks for reminding me.
Don't hang up yet. There you go.
Amy, do you want to have
What's the
a?
question again?
Some of your
If you could talk about.
In your first year, you will learn more about yourself as a person, as a student, as a friend, as a family member, and all these different roles you play in relationships. And they're going to test you, and they're going to be difficult, but I promise you. That's a good
Preaching, yeah.
Dad, can you live up to that?
No, I cannot. Keep mine short. My first year at Xavier was filled with some amazing opportunities. It's just going to be long in a sentence, but some amazing opportunities from like related to my major to working here to just networking already with like a lot of great companies that they bring here on campus to alumni. Amazing people, so people from across the country as well as across the world. So it's nice. Here at Xavier is very diverse, not just like in ethnicity and race from different backgrounds, religions. So you get to meet a lot of different kinds of people and amazing experiences. So from the basketball games to just like fun times in the cafes to late night studying, you'll have an amazing time in your freshman year.
All righty. Well, that is going to wrap up things. I did include my email just so you have any questions or you want to talk to any of these 5 people, let me know. I can give you their information. If you have any questions after today or coming up to May 1st, please give me an email or give me a call. I first want to thank all of you guys for coming out very, very much. We're glad you have here. Hopefully you are already deposited or on your way to deposit so you can meet these fantastic people next year on campus. If you have specific questions, let us know. We want to help you through this process. We're here to make it as easy and stress-free as possible. So ask them about their process. Talk to me. We were going to help you out. We're really excited for all of you to become Musketeers next year. And thank you very much for joining us. So you guys all have a good night.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.